Good afternoon, all of you. Hope everyone is here. Uh, and fifth semester.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes. Uh, so, this is fifth semester company law subject. Okay. So, in previous class, we discussed about company law, the syllabus that we have. The first block we have for nature of company and kinds of companies, then incorporation of a company, memorandum of association, prospectus. These are the topics under first block. So from these topics in first block we did nature of company, kinds of company, and incorporation of a company. Okay. So today's topic we are going to complete in today's class about memorandum, articles, prospectus. First block only. We are doing with first block only even in today's class. So I'll share a screen here. Please be wait. Is this screen visible to you all? Please. Is this screen visible to you all? Yeah. Company law class, fifth semester. Okay. Please let me know the screen is visible or not to you. You can speak. Oh,
No, ma'am.
1 second. This is not showing. I'll just join 1 second.
Ma'am, no voice, ma'am. Ma'am, your voice is muted. Excuse me, ma'am.
త్రీ మెంబర్స్ ఉన్నారా క్లాస్ లో? ఆన్లైన్ క్లాస్ లో ఎవరు జాయిన్ అవ్వట్లేదండి ఇంతసేపు అయినా. హలో మేం, హలో మేం, వినిపించట్లేదు. స్టార్ట్. హలో, డిస్ప్లే వస్తుంది, ఏం వినిపించట్లేదు మీరు. సమీరా అహ్మద్. 3 మెంబర్స్ ఉన్నారా క్లాస్ లో? సుధారా. స్క్రీన్ షాట్ తీసుకోండి, ఇవి ఏమైనా హెల్ప్ అవుతాయి.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, your mic is muted. Please unmute your mic.
ఏం వినిపించట్లేదు మీది, ఓన్లీ ఇది క్లాసెస్ వస్తుంది, ఫొటోస్ వస్తున్నాయి, అంతే. ఏం వినిపించట్లేదు వాయిస్. హలో మేము, మాట్లాడండి మేడం. ఎవరి దగ్గర నంబర్ ఉంటే కాల్ చేయండి కదా మేడంకి. కారణ్. మన 2:30 క్లాస్. కూల్ కూల్, వెయిట్. నో, ఇందాక మాట్లాడింది మేము, ఇందాక స్టార్ట్ అయింది క్లాస్, బట్ మళ్ళీ మరి ఏమైనా చూస్తున్నారా, జగ్గిస్తున్నారా ఏమో. ఎక్స్క్యూజ్ మీ మేడం. Memorandum means the memorandum of association of a company as originally formed as. మేడం స్టార్ట్ చేయండి మేడం క్లాస్.
కాల్ చేయొచ్చు కదమ్మా. మ్యూట్ ఆన్ ద. ఐ హ్యాడ్ టు రిపీట్ అగైన్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్.
లేదు మేము ఇందాక నుంచి మాట్లాడుతున్నా, మీరు
I
ఎవరైనా
mean your
మీరు
group.
రెస్పాన్స్ అవ్వట్లేదు. మెసేజ్ కూడా
Fine.
పెట్టినా
Shall I
చూసుకోండి.
start again?
ఓకే మేడం స్టార్ట్ చేయండి
You
మేడం.
people wait till today's topic we complete.
మేం
Right. Okay. I think your mics are turned off.
చెప్పండి మేము వినిపిస్తుంది.
Is this screen visible?
ఎస్ మ్యామ్.
Is this visible? Turn on
ఎస్
your
మ్యామ్.
mic and answer.
ఎస్ మ్యామ్.
It's visible, ma'am.
Are the people there or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. Hello. I hope this screen is visible to you all. Mm. So, incorporation of a company, it means a company comes into existence by some process which is called incorporation. Okay, so before a company is formed, certain preliminary steps involves to be followed. Okay, like collecting capital, selection of name, location, thinking about the sources of capital, and then location, capital, collection, pooling of resources like land, labor, machines, and all. Okay, all these steps involves before bringing a company into existence. Okay, this one is this kind of act is a process we call as a incorporation of a company. Now, okay, that whether it's a public company or private company, both are required to be followed. Okay, once the company legally incorporated, it becomes a separate entity distinct from its members, and it will have its own existence, right? So this but the first step in bringing the company into existence, the formation of the process of formation of a company, the first step is called as promotion. And this promotion, we see, means the person who, okay, and the person who involves in the process of incorporation of company, we call as a promoter. We need to learn about that promoter also, we will discuss. And the next, coming to the so registration of company, incorporation nothing but registration of a company. It whether public or private, every company has to get registered. Okay, to get their legal status, if they want to be as a private limited company, minimum 2 members must be there. If they want to be a public limited company, minimum 7 members must be there. And if it is a one person, 1 member must be there at the time of registration. Okay, so then they go to get this registration, they need to submit certain important documents with the registrar. Okay, so what are those documents? Memorandum of association and articles of association, list of directors, declaration of directors, and the people who involved in preparation of the memorandum of association. These are the documents to be submitted with the registrar. So this question is important from the examination point of view. Incorporation of a company, what is the process of incorporation of a company? You can expect this in the examination. Then you need to write this advertisement, this introduction part first. Okay. Mm, this introduction part, whatever is there, this you need to write before writing the incorporation of a company. Then you need to mention what is incorporation and how many members need to be there for the incorporation of a company, for each type of company. And then now the documents to be filed with the registrar, list of documents. And for each of these documents, a brief explanation is required. Actually, each first two documents have a can be expected in the long answer questions also. But when you are writing under the incorporation of a company topic, you need to write only brief about these documents, memorandum and articles. Okay, you cannot simply give the titles. You need to explain a brief about what is memorandum and what is articles. A brief need to be explained. I'll show that. And apart from these two documents, there are more two documents. What is list of directors and the written consent of directors, and declaration of the people, advocate and secretary. Okay, so now let us see about this. So as per this, the once all those documents are duly signed and submitted with the registrar, the this is a registrar will verify the documents and the information in that. If he satisfies, he'll enter the name of the company in the register called certificate of incorporation, and company gets incorporated. From that date, these companies can start their business. Earlier, as per the old act, public limited company has to obtain one more certificate, which is called certificate of commencement of business. But now, as per new act, even public limited companies can start their business immediately after obtaining the certificate of incorporation. Okay, so let us see about the what is memorandum of association. A memorandum of association is a which is a document originally framed by the company, and which tells about the internal sorry, the relationship of company with the outsiders. Like, see, public, as an outsider, as a public, if a company comes into existence, whatever the information you want to know, whatever the information you are expecting to know from the company, all that information is provided by the company in its memorandum of association document. That's the reason why it is called as a fundamental document also. Okay, it is called as a fundamental document also. And so what it consists of? It consists of the relationship of company with its outsiders, with the outsiders like shareholders, creditors, okay, and the other public, prospective investors. Sorry, all these people can whatever the information is expecting, all that information will be given in this document in detail. Okay, that is the reason why it is also called as uh, charter of company, because like how a king is important to a kingdom, same way this document is such important to the company. Okay, so let us see the clause. It consists of certain. So what section 2 of subsection 56 of Companies Act 2013 says, memorandum means, mm, memorandum means it's a document of a company which is originally framed and altered from time to time in pursuance of any previous law of this act. So it is a company's original document which is framed by the company itself, and time to time required alterations can be allowed as per the act. That's only in order to be on par with the act, the alterations are allowed, but otherwise alteration, the thorough preparation is required, and for a long lasting purpose, this memorandum has to be prepared with utmost care and attention. Okay, so memorandum is the first step on the formation of a company, and it sets out the constitution of the company, fundamental document of company, all these I said. So every aspect of company, like what is the company structure, how it is going to function, all every information will be provided in this memorandum. So that is the reason why it is called as a basic charter of a company. It has utmost importance till here. Okay, and this document has to be printed and divided into, means while preparing the document you have to a lot of information comes, what that we'll see in the next topic, clauses. Okay, so what if you're getting a lot of information, they are have to be divided into different paragraphs, and each paragraph has to be given continuously. Okay, and whatever the information you are preparing for the memorandum, that has to be taken in a printed form, not in a handwritten. Okay, so memorandum is to be in a printed form, and the information in the memorandum has to be divided into paragraphs, and each of the paragraphs has to be numbered consecutive, means continuous, you should not split it, continuous numbering should be given. And after finishing this preparation of memorandum of association, two subscribers of a company, private company, and seven in case of public company, one in case of a one person company, has to sign, saying that all the formalities and the provisions of Companies Act has been followed and observed in preparation of memorandum. You are supposed to sign. Okay, so memorandum, I said memorandum consists of certain clauses, certain information that is expected by the public, right? What is that information? Like name of the company, state in which registered office of the company is situated, what are the objectives of company, and under what objectives a company is going to work. Okay, and if anyone becomes the members of company, what is their liability, and what is the capital of a company, how many, what type of shares company is issuing, all these information, and finally agreement of the memorandum of association members to be given. Okay, so when you are writing under the incorporation of a company, you are supposed to write this much about the memorandum of association. But when you are asked to write about the memorandum of association itself, you need to explain all these documents. Okay, sorry, clauses. Mm. No, let us see the explanation part of these clauses. Mm. What did I say? These are the contents of a memorandum of association, right? Name of the company, state and who is registered, that is location of the company, capital of the company, objectives of the company, liability of the company, and agreement of the members of company. Okay, these are the clauses. Means this all information has to be given in detail. So it should continues in a paragraphs also sometimes. That's the reason why the data has to be divided into different paragraphs, and paragraphs has to be numbered. Okay, the entire information has to be taken in a printed format, signed by the members concerned. Now let us see about each of the clause of memorandum. Are you all following? Please voice.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Name clause. First one is name clause. This name clause states, are you all there?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Again, I'm going to share.
Yes, ma'am.
Huh. So first one is name clause. Clause is nothing but content or clause or anything. Name clause. Under this clause, the members give the information relating to the name of the company. Okay. What is the name of the company? Under what name company is going to be identified? Okay. And what is this company symbol? Under what symbol company is going to operate? That is called a logo. Sorry. Okay, whatever symbol that you are supposed to see. Whenever you see a tick mark, what tick mark resembles what? Tick mark is of whose symbol? Can anyone please? As I'm presenting the screen, yes. Hmm. Somebody answered. Screen is blank. Hmm. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
Is now screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. Now it's visible.
Please respond. Screen is visible. So
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
name of company cannot now name clause says a company should have a whatever the name that is to be mentioned clearly, the name of the company, and that name should not be resemble with any other existing company names. That is more important. Once again, a name of company should not resemble the name of the other existing companies. Second thing is that logo or any emblem or copyright, whatever is there, the brand uh, image, that also has to be mentioned. They should give the information relating to the name, a perfect name of the company, and the logo, if any. Okay. Uh, Screen is still blank.
No, ma'am.
Okay, name of the company and logo of the company. Then so rules are that name of company should not be similar with other existing companies or identical with other companies, and logo also should not be identical with other. So next one is so name, and if it is a company, so one's name of company must contain a word or phrase as connected to the central or state governments or any local authorities. If it is no, it is a public limited company. After the name, a simple limited company will come. If it is a private limited company, at the end of the actual name of a company, private limited term will come. Say for example, BHEL. Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. It's a public limited company. So, okay, HL. Hindustan Aeronautical Limited. Okay. Like that, name of the public limited company means it should have limited after the name of a company. If it is a private limited company, it should mention as a private limited, like Bank of India Private Limited. Okay. Sriram Chits India Private Limited. These are like that. Whatever private limited companies are there doing their work, JD Electronics Private Limited, like that, they need to give at the end of the name private limited if it is a private, if it is a public limited company. Okay. Mm, one person also has to use the word at the end of their name. Okay. Now, emblems, logos, whatever are there, company they want to select, that should be as per the act specified in the slide, that is Prevention and of Improper Use Act 1950. As per that act's rule, one should get okay, select their logo or emblem. Name, emblem, or official seal of United Nations Organization, the World Health Organization. So nobody should use. Okay. The next one is registered office clause or situation clause. Situation clause again is next. Is the next. mm, so under this situation means where you started a business, someone asks where is your office, you need to give, right? So situation clause tells about the register where office is located. The same location and address you are going to give to the registrar, so it is called as a registered office. Registered office, we used to use this word many a times. Where is this company's registered office located, right? So that means whatever the address that you are using for communication, that address only has to get it registered with the officer at the time of incorporation. That's the reason why we call it as a registered officer. Okay. So company register under which jurisdiction means under which court area it comes, what is the location or address, everything has to be given under this clause. And whatever the address, with that address only company is going to do its future communications and all. Okay. um, Future communications, notices, everything are addressed from that address only. Excuse me. Next one is also furnish verification of registered office 30 days. Within the 30 days, company should furnish should furnish the all the details. Suppose at the time of registration you still not selected the location, means submitting the documents. At least by 30 days of incorporation you need to submit your registered office address with the registrar. Okay. The next one is objects clause. Objects clause means what? What are the objectives or with which objectives company is going to work on? Every one of us have some objectives, right? Some purpose, right? Similarly, a company's form means it has certain purpose. It has some view, future view. Under these objects itself, like vision, mission, values also comes. Okay, object clause is the next important clause of the memorandum of association content, under which the company's related terms and conditions, the limits and the extent of the activities of company, means what is the scope of companies, under what objectives it is going to work. Okay. uh, Everything will be given, like actually objectives are two types: primary objectives and secondary objectives. Primary objectives are those which serves the basic purpose of a company for establishment, and secondary objectives which support the primary objectives. Okay. uh, Next one is third one is fourth one, liability clause. Liability clause means Yeah, generally, in a business organization, you learn joint stock companies means company means it raises capital from the public. So when it can able to raise its capital from the public only when public are risk free, right? So under the memorandum of association, under liability clause, a company also give the information about the liability of its shareholders. Okay, whether the shareholders liability is limited by shares or limited by guarantee, or is it a unlimited liability. That information will be given under the liability clause, and which is going to be permanent, permanent in the sense which is going to be continue for a long time, and accordingly the investor should think to join. Okay, so memorandum sorry, liability clause, did you got it? Huh. Uh, so it means the members are only called upon to pay the company at any time, and the uncalled or unpaid amount to held by them or the maximum of the amount by the okay. Yeah, why this? We are taking only paid members so that the unpaid members will come to know and uncalled amount will come to know. Accordingly, company plan for it. Uh, Okay, the next one is capital clause. Capital clause is the another important clause of memorandum of association. Clause is nothing but capital content. Um, So capital clause. Now the question is about the capital. How to raise the capital? What are the sources available to the company? So whatever the decision it has taken under the promotion stage, all that information has to be given. Because when you yourself as a investor, what you will think about it? You want to know whether the screen visible. Capital clause is that which tells about the capital of a company. Like what is the total, with what amount of capital company is starting, how many shares it divided that capital into, what is the share value of that capital. All this information is required. Uh, if the company is not interested, okay, capital clause has to be given. So types of shares, amount of share, number of shares, total amount of capital, capital issued, okay, all this information it has to be provided under the capital clause to the investors for the investor purpose. The next one is association clause or subscription clause, which means willingness of directors to associate with the company. So, under this clause, whoever the members involved in preparation of this or the subscribers of this yeah, subscribers of this company, those people has to give an undertaking that this memorandum of association has been paid. Okay, they had to give a subscribers as company has to give signature must be there also. Okay, their signatures are important as a witness along with the witness. Okay, so this one is memorandum of association. So in memorandum of association, how many clauses are there? Five clauses. One is name clause. Name clause is related with the name clause related with the name of the company, which where it should not resemble with other company names. Everyone, both the parent and child. Okay, the next one is situation clause. Situation clause is the After name of the company, registered office, or a situation clause. Situation clause is the one which tells about the where the office of a company is located for the communication, for the future communication, or to send notices or anything. Okay, simple to say. If a registered office is not selected by the time of incorporation, the company should give address of the registered office at least within 30 days of the incorporation. Actually, they are supposed to submit at the time of incorporation, that is registration itself only. But if the company is not ready with that, at least first it can submit, then later it can climb. Okay. The next one is objective clause. Objective clause is what? Objectives of the company, means the uh, policies under which company is working. Okay, so here objective clause also includes primary and secondary. Under this only you will get vision, mission, and value statements. Okay. So two types of objectives will be there: primary objectives and secondary objectives. Um, Okay, these objectives are to be prepared very carefully. Changing the objectives will be more difficult. The next one is uh, uh, after objective clause, the next one is liability clause. Under this clause, it has to say what is the liability of the members, whether it is limited by shares or limited by guarantee, or it is it a unlimited liability. Whatever it is, it has to inform the members. Okay, and must also mention that the members will be called upon to pay the company share value at any time. That information will be paid, will be given in the liability clause. The next capital clause: type of capital, number of shares, the value of capital, the shares divided into, type of shares. Okay, all these information, and nominal, that is authorized capital information. Every information is given under the capital clause. The next one is association clause. So these are the four. What is the name, situation, capital, liability? Apart from these four, the next one, fifth one is situation clause. Under the situation clause, the person involved in the situation of organization can be mm, mentioned. Now, second document to be submitted at the time of incorporation of company is articles of association. So these articles of association, okay, what is the articles of association? Just now we have seen memorandum of association. It tells external word, means whatever the outsider, public expects want to know about the company, all that will be given. Okay, so it has a connection with the external world. It has no connection with. It has no connection with the what. Any like a memorandum tells about the external world, what are the rules and regulations, how the company is going to function. Whereas articles of association tells the rules and regulations for the internal control. Okay, it tells the information relating to the internal control, how the members has to behave, mm, what are the rules and regulations, what are the terms and conditions, and okay, what is special thing about the members. All these document is given in the sorry, given in the articles of association. So these articles of association is for internal purpose, and it tells the rules and regulations of internal management, that is so everyone, employees, creditors, whoever the internally works with the organization, for everyone. Uh, mm, Then articles of association. This also, like memorandum of association, must be printed, divided into paragraphs. It must be printed, divided into paragraphs, numbered consecutively, and stamped properly, and signed by the every subscriber of the memorandum with the witness. And okay, then only they should file with the registrar. Okay, same the case. Uh, Now, what are the contents of articles of association? What did we said? Articles of association is for internal management, right? So, for internal management means company to company, the terms and conditions, rules and regulations changes. So, upon regarding what topics they'll have the term rules and regulations or terms and conditions, only we will show. So, the content part is same. The internal if under each content the terms and conditions regulations will change. Understood? Okay, so what are the contents of articles? We'll see. Share capital, what is the total capital of the company, and number of shares divided, value of each share, types of shares issued. All this information has to be given. Along with that, what are the rights and responsibilities or rights and duties of a rights and duties of the various shareholders. That also will be given. So I'll repeat once again. The what you call contents of articles of association. First of all, there means what the number of shares are there, what is the total capital, share capital, how many shares it issued, how much value it has, and what are the different types of shares there, whoever is going to receive those shares, there again they need to be given uh, the rights and duties and responsibilities of shareholders also be given, and lien on shares, calls on shares, transfer of shares, okay, and transmission of shares with conversion of. Okay. Next, transfer of shares. If any person wants to transfer the shares from one person to other, what terms and conditions? Transmission, converting the shares into other format. Forfeiture of shares, cancellation of shares. Forfeiture is nothing but cancellation of shares. You will learn this in your company accounts topic. The next one is conversation. Cancellation. If any shareholder does not pay the call money, that is the share value completely, even after the notices, then company get a right to cancel his shares. That is called forfeiture of shares. So when a company can forfeiture the shares of a shareholder, and what are the terms and conditions are discussed under that. The next one is buyback of shares. Company generally, when it goes in profits, buy back the shares. And then similarly, alteration of share capital. If any reason, if a company wants to extend its share capital, then first memorandum has to be altered with the share capital one. Okay, the next one is dividends. Dividend is what, the return on capital. See, you have some savings money and you invested that savings money in the bank. What you get from the bank? When you keep your money in the bank, your savings in bank under FD, what you will get? Interest, right? So same way, in case of shares, when a company issue the shares to the public, and after 1 year, whatever the profits it earned, those share in the profits has to be given to these shareholders according to their shares only. But so the return on investment under shares is called as dividends. So this is over. Next. Okay. The next one is borrowing powers. What are the borrowing powers of a company? Then under what conditions company, what extent it can borrow, who is authorized to borrow, what assets can be offered as a security. All these will be given. Like that, whatever director meetings, how many meetings to be conducted, who are the directors, when to conduct, for what purpose, all this accounts and auditing, how books of accounts to be kept and maintained. Who is the auditor? Okay, general, then directors meetings, additional directors, capitalization of reserves, voting rights and proxies. What are the voting rights of the members, and when a member can appoint the proxy. Proxy means okay. So these all are the under all these matters, every company raise its terms and conditions. Okay. So if you look into the difference between the memorandum of association and the articles of association, first one is objective. The objective of a memorandum is to build the relationship with the external world and provide the information that is required by the external people. The objective of articles of association is what? For internal people and internal information. The nature. Yes, it's belong to the outsider, means you need to go outside, or Mm, okay, so memorandum is for internal one, articles is for external one. Coming to the status, uh, memorandum is a supreme document or fundamental document. Second, articles is a secondary important document, subordinate document. So these are some of the differences you can write. Do you have any differences? Anything else? I'll complete articles of association also. Is that okay for you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Is chart visible or not now? Respond.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Chart is visible. I'm presenting the PPT, PowerPoint presentation. Yes.
Not
Harsha
visible, ma'am.
Nayak,
Not visible, ma'am.
visible my chart?
No, ma'am.
Why
No,
I'm
ma'am,
not
it's
able
not
to
visible.
hear your voice? One second. Yeah, now you tell.
Still, it's
What
not visible, ma'am.
screen? Till now you didn't see the screen?
Before I was seeing, ma'am.
Now I'm not presenting. I'm changing now. Now I to articles of association. I need to take no prospectus. So now you understood till now.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Prospectus. Right. Prospectus. I'll take now. Okay. Uh, So again, I repeat, incorporation of a company. Whenever you get a question on incorporation of a company, introduction, conclusion, and in between about incorporation, the documents, whatever you get, memorandum and articles of association, a brief information need to be given. Okay, what is a memorandum? What is article? Why they are important? What information they give, that much only. You need not to explain detailedly. But when you get a question on memorandum of association, you need to write what is memorandum of association and explain the all clauses. And when you get an articles question on articles of association, you need to write what is articles of association, and you need to present all these contents. You need not to explain. Okay, for articles of association you need not to explain. Only the thing you need to mention all these, almost 20 are there, all 20 points to be mentioned. Okay, at least minimum if not 20, right? Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll complete prospectus also, and we'll wind up. One more point I would like to say. I think prospectus is also a simple one. I'll tell you here itself. One second. Yeah. When you are taking the admission from VR review, did you receive a booklet? Remember? Long back, mama. So you might have received one a booklet in which every information is given, like courses BRAV offering, the fee structure, curriculum, subjects. Do you have or not? Examination part. And did you remember?
No,
Same
ma'am.
way. Not remembered. You received. Without that, you will not take, because you will pay that and will take. Anyway, so prospectus is again is yeah. As I mentioned, when do we get this prospectus? See, in the formation of a company, first one is promotion. Okay, I need to cover promoter also. Okay, I'll tell. Promotion. After that, incorporation means registration, for which documents to be fulfilled by filed by the promoters with the registrar. And the major important two documents are memorandum and articles of association. And once they submit all these documents, whatever the documents and information is there, all that verified by the registrar, and if he satisfies, he will issue the certificate called incorporation, certificate of incorporation. Once he receive this certificate, private limited company can start their business. But if they want to get another certificate, means public limited company has to get one more certificate called commencement of business. That is as per the old act. New amended law says both can start their business after incorporation of a company. But after getting the registration, if I registered, then you will trust me, otherwise you will not trust me, right? So after the registration, now the company will rush to raise its capital, because it raised its capital from its members, right? So when it is raising the capital from its members, uh, it has the different sources. The major source, raising capital from the public in the form of shares. Okay, so again, it cannot directly say, if some communication has to be passed, right? It has to say what yeah, about the every information that a company, it has to attract paper we used to get in the paper some pamphlets. What is that pamphlet? It tells the information, if a parlor is opening, or details of the parlor, where it is located, what is its speciality, if a salon is opening, or a restaurant is opening, right? They give a pamphlet, right? Similarly, a company also, because inform, getting awareness, bringing awareness about the existence of company among the public, that okay, and the company here is raising the capital, and it needs to give the required information, raising the capital and collecting the capital from the public out of their savings, their money. So it need to give the every minute information required by the public, okay, to invest there, to come forward, those public to come forward, invest in the company, save company shares. Every information that is required by the company, sorry, public, has to be provided by the company. So that information which is provided by the company in the document is called as prospectus. So in simple to say, a prospectus is the invitation through which company invites its public to subscribe the shares of a company. Okay. uh, so I'll present this screen. Let me know whether you are able to see or not. Prospectus is visible. Is this visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Right. Right. Prospectus is what? Once a company. So, as a company, once a company get its certificate of incorporation, now the next step of a company is to raise its funds. Okay. That is capital. The sentences are disordered. Okay, so raising its capital. So how it raise its capital? To raise the capital, it raises capital from the public. So to raise the capital from the public, it needs to inform the public and bring awareness among the public about the existence of company, and company wants to collect their savings in the form of shares for raising their capital, right? So, for that purpose, a company issue a document called a prospectus, through which invites the public to subscribe for the shares of a company. Okay, and other information. So, in order to make the public in subscribe the shares of a company, whatever the information public is expecting, all that information company gives in this prospectus. So it is a document, okay, through which it invites the public. Prospectus. Okay, this is the meaning. Again, here also I gave C. So a company needs finance at this stage, its business, okay. Private company, generally private company raise the capital among the members itself only, so it will not issue any prospectus. But only public company raise its capital from the public, so it issue the prospectus. Understood? Remember, private company not issue the prospectus. Public company only issue the prospectus because it only raise the capital from the public. Private company, among the members, they raise the capital. Now, prospectus, as per the section 2, subsection 70 of Companies Act, defines any document that described or issued as a prospectus and includes any notice, circular, or advertisement or other document inviting deposits from the public for the subscription of purchase of any shares or debentures of a body corporate is called as prospectus. So this is the definition, and the meaning in simple terms, the above whatever I showed, you can write. So, and apart from this, it has to fulfill, a company has to fulfill certain terms and conditions as per the Companies Act. What are those? The prospectus must be in writing. It must be like an invitation to the public made by the company, and invitation only to subscribe the shares or debentures that are issued by the company. Okay, and must be the date of prospectus. The prospectus must be dated, on which date it is issued. Okay, and publication of when it is issued, when it is published, both are important, because from this date of publication of a issue of prospectus, within 120 days company has to raise their capital. Say for example, 1st January 24, company issued the prospectus to the public. Okay, released a prospectus to the public asking them to subscribe its shares. Then from 1st January to 120 days means by 30 days per month, by, so how many? 4 months, right? So by the end of the April, company has to raise its capital. If not raise, the company has to close before starting only. That is what the act says. That's the reason why, of course, company will have a other arrangement that will come across later. Okay, so why the dates are important, I'm explaining here. That's why. So date of the publication, date of issue of the prospectus, both are important, and it must be signed by the directors of company. The prospectus has to be signed by the directors of company. Okay, this is the introduction of a meaning, definition, and introduction about the essentials of prospectus. Now, contents in prospectus: what information company has to give as per the act. According to section 26 of the Companies Act, the following contents are to be given or provided in the prospectus. What are those? a, a common information first, a name of the company, address or registered office of the company, and directors of the company, their names and addresses, and company secretary, auditor, legal advisor. These are the people who are legally, means a public will trust, yes, these are the people and these names addresses are provided, so we can catch them, right? And then date of opening of the subscriptions and closing of the subscription of shares, and names and address of the underwriters. I'll tell you what is underwriter later. And then how company is going to allot the shares, what is the procedure company is following, what is the company's capital structure, what business company is doing, what amount of capital it is minimum to be raised. Okay, and the directors reports, auditors reports, then about the company experts opinions, detail. Okay, and transfer of shares and transmission of shares, what is the amount, rights and rules, when a company allowed to transfer, when company can transmit the shares into debentures or any other types, how company is going to dividends on shares. Okay, what risk factors are involved, what is the liability of the members, all these information has to be provided in the prospectus. Finally, a declaration by the expert that relating to the prospectus and the company that has followed company act rules and regulations. Okay, so these all information to be provided by the company. The details inside the each of the content changes from company to company. Okay, so now, yeah, once the prospectus is prepared according to the section 24 of Companies Act, the listed companies has to submit their prospectus with the Security Board of Exchange. Okay, all the information has to be given to the SEBI also. Okay. Hmm. So sometimes even public limited company majorly wants to raise its capital from among the members itself and go to public later. And at that time, company may not issue the prospectus. Okay, in such case, it will go. It has to issue a document called statement in lieu of prospectus. Means a statement in the place of prospectus. It means statement in the place of prospectus, whether company is going to raise its capital from the public or not. Either the prospectus, if they're going to collect the capital from the public, it has to prepare the prospectus. If we want to raise the capital among for time being among the members itself only, but later it want to go collect, then a statement has to in place of prospectus has to be prepared. Okay, so that is the statement in lieu of prospectus means. So when a public company does not invite public for subscribing the shares, then it has to arrange other source. Then it will prepare a statement in lieu of prospectus. This document also almost all continuous information as prospectus contains, and it has to be issued at least 3 days before the allotment of shares to its members. ఓకే, ఇక్కడేమో పైన మనకి ప్రాస్పెక్టస్ ఎప్పుడు ఇష్యూ చేయాలి అది ఏమీ ఉండదు. ఎప్పుడు ఇష్యూ చేసినా సరే ఇష్యూ చేసిన డేటు పబ్లిష్ చేసిన డేటు ఉండాలి. ఓకే, ఇక్కడ ఈ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఒకవేళ కంపెనీ అసలు ప్రాస్పెక్టస్తో పని లేదు, ప్రైవేట్గానే రేజ్ చేయాలనుకుంటే ఈ స్టేట్మెంట్ని ప్రిపేర్ చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది అనమాట. అండ్ 3 days బిఫోర్గా దీన్ని అలాట్మెంట్ చేయక ముందే, అట్లీస్ట్ 3 అలాట్మెంట్ చేస్తాము షేర్స్ మెంబర్స్కి అనడానికి 3 days ముందు అట్లీస్ట్ దీన్ని ప్రిపేర్ చేసి రిజిస్ట్రార్తో సబ్మిట్ చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ద నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఈజ్ సర్టిఫికేట్ ఆఫ్ కమెన్స్మెంట్. డిడ్ యూ అండర్స్టూడ్ దిస్ ప్రాస్పెక్టస్?
Yes, ma'am.
Now coming to the last one, certificate of commencement of business. What does it mean? I told, as per the old Companies Act, public limited companies has to obtain one more certificate to start their business, right? After obtaining the certificate of incorporation, they are supposed to obtain certificate of commencement of business to start their business, right? So what company do? Yeah, public limited companies will go for is getting this certificate. You may get a doubt, ma'am, when that is not there as per the new amendment, why should we learn? But in our academics curriculum, this topic still there. You can expect this particular topic, certificate of commencement of business, for a short answer. So you have to learn. Got it? Yeah. So a private company, as I mentioned earlier, a private company can start their business immediately after incorporation. But public limited company has to wait for one more certificate called certificate of commencement of business. Okay. So in order to get this certificate, I said now there what a company has to 180 days. Wait, from the date of issue of prospectus, within 180 days, not 120, 180 means 6 months. Within 6 months, company should able to raise its minimum capital. If not, company has to close down. That is the reason why what company, public limited companies do, they go for a underwriters guarantee. Underwriters means who? These are the people who give guarantee of buying the company shares if company is unable to raise its capital. Understood what we said? Company has to raise its capital before 180 days. Okay, at the end of the 180 days. Okay, if it is not raised, company has to close the entire business. So what company, these promoters do to avoid such situation, they go for a underwriters guarantee. Who are the underwriters? What guarantee they give? Underwriters means allies insurance companies or financial institutions or certain banks. Okay, insurance companies, financial institutions, or certain banks. Okay, so these are the underwriters. And what guarantee they give? They give the guarantee saying that yes, we will buy your company shares if your company is unable to raise the required capital before 180 days. That guarantee they give. Okay, so for giving this guarantee, they will charge some commission. They don't give free. Okay, they charge some commission. And so underwriters commission 180 days of incorporation, they go for underwriters. If they raise, okay, otherwise they'll go. And once they raise the capital, this memorandum of then the company will go for certificate of commencement of business. So for that they are supposed to submit certain three documents again. One, saying that they raise the minimum subscription. Second one, at the time of incorporation, they submitted one written consent of directors. So that written consent of direct, there they given the consent that we are going to buy the qualification shares. Okay. What happened suddenly? So what qualification says incorporation approved directors are given consent that they buy the qualification shares of a company. So qualification అంటే to be a director of a company, a person has to buy certain number of shares that are fixed by the company. So if he buy those number of shares only, he'll be eligible to be a director. Okay, to stand as a director. So that so three documents. Okati, minimum subscription. Ante company has raised minimum capital. The next, the qualification shares have been purchased and paid by the directors. And third, that the company has followed all the rules and regulations for the commencement of a business. These three documents has to be submitted again with the registrar. Then the registrar will verify. If he satisfies, he will issue. Will enter the name of company in public companies registrar, and will issue a certificate called commencement of business certificate. Then company, public limited company, can start their business. Okay. If they don't apply this and if they don't follow the rules, there will be penalty for 50,000. Of course, anyway, this commencement is not there, so they can start. This penalty also not there. Understood? Done? Did you
Yes,
understood?
ma'am.
So we completed first block. So from the first block, nature of company is nothing but characteristics of company. And the second one, kinds of companies and the types of company based on the classification you need to learn. Each type, why I'm telling you is short answers possibility is there. Explain about the charter company or classification kinds of companies based on the incorporation, like that. So you need to learn those two. And under incorporation, just now whatever we did, incorporation, I already said how to prepare for the incorporation of a question. First chapter you have no choice, children. You have to prepare everything for the first chapter, because maximum questions you'll get from the first chapter. And minimum pass marks you can score if you don't leave any question for the from the first chapter. Understood? Incorporation. When you are asked to write about the memorandum of association, you need to explain the clauses. Otherwise, under incorporation, you need to write a brief. Don't give simple title. You need to write a brief about the memorandum and also about the articles of association. Of articles of association, a separate question. You need not to write any what you call explanation to the contents, but a brief about articles, and then all the contents listing out the contents only. No explanation required for the articles. See, even for the prospectus also, if you get a question on prospectus, give explanation about the prospectus, what is prospectus, who will prepare, when they prepare, what are the requirements for preparing the prospectus. Then list out the contents of prospectus. No need to explain the contents. This explanation I gave for your understanding. Okay, for you in the examination, no need to explain articles and prospectus. List out the contents only. Don't explain. Done. And rest of the topics, whatever you have, those all are mm, those all are short answers topics. Okay, na? Anything else? Block one clear. I'll share the PPTs as I said. Okay. Luckily, in my laptop, my mail is open, kept open, so I got these PPTs. I'll send you all. Any more? Do you have any doubts?
Ma'am.
Yes. Yes. No, no. So we'll meet next class next Sunday. Happy New Year to you all.
No, ma'am, this is not our festival.
Okay, that is okay.
Ugadi, it's
But
our
we
festival.
are following, of course, but we are following English calendar only, right?
Yes,
January,
ma'am, but
February.
we don't want to celebrate the festival because we are.
Okay, good. That's good. Okay. We also don't celebrate, but
No, ma'am, I never celebrate, ma'am. I never
okay.
celebrate.
Very good. That's
I
very good.
celebrate Ugadi, madam, Ugadi.
So we'll wish for Igadi
Yes,
when
ma'am.
we
మేము
March or
డౌట్స్
April. Yeah.
మేము డౌట్స్ ఉంటే చేస్తాం మేము నంబర్ ఉంది కదా గ్రూప్ లో నేను కాల్ చేస్తాం మేము
కాల్ కన్నా మెసేజ్ చేయండి, ఎందుకంటే నేను
ఓకే మ్యామ్
కాల్ ఉంటాను. ఒకవేళ నేను మీ ఈ మెసేజ్కి రెస్పాండ్ కాకపోతే 1 డే 2 డేస్, దెన్ కాల్ మీ. ఓకే, దట్ టు
ఓకే
ఈవినింగ్
మ్యామ్
అవర్స్ ఆఫ్టర్ 7.
ఓకే మ్యామ్
ఓకే.
మేము ఈ క్లాసెస్ చెప్తున్నాను కానీ అసలు ఇప్పుడు రెగ్యులర్ వాళ్ళకంటే డైలీ క్లాసెస్ ఉంటాయి కాబట్టి వాళ్ళకి ఈజీ అని అర్థం అవుతుంది. సో మాకు ఏంటంటే ఇయర్లీ వన్స్ లో ఉండేది ఈ 1 month లోనే.
6 months.
అండ్
So sorry, 6 classes.
దాని
Yes.
మేము ఇంకా మళ్ళీ ఆఫ్లైన్ క్లాసెస్ చెప్పట్లేదు ఇప్పుడు, అది ఏం ఎప్పుడు స్టార్ట్ అవుతుందో తెలియదు. సో ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఏమి ఉండదు. సో మీరు చెప్పే క్లాసెస్
ఇంకా
ఇవన్నీ వింటే
don't expect my from my point is, don't expect for the offline class only. ఎందుకంటే హైబ్రిడ్ మోడ్ అని, ఆన్లైన్ సిస్టమ్ అని, అన్ని చోట్ల ఇప్పుడు రెగ్యులర్ క్లాసెస్ కూడా ఆన్లైన్ జరుగుతున్నాయి. ఇంజనీరింగ్ వాళ్ళకి రెగ్యులర్ కోర్సులు కూడా చాలా ఆన్లైన్లలోనే వచ్చేసాయి ఇప్పుడు. సో ఇట్స్ వెరీ డిఫికల్ట్ టు ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ మై పాయింట్.
ఎస్ మ్యామ్, మీరు అనేది కరెక్టే. బట్ ఇప్పుడు ఎంతైనా డైలీ మనం రివైజ్ చేసింది వేరే ఉంటది. ఏదో వన్ టైమ్ లో ఒకసారి బుక్ చూసుకొని క్లాస్ చెప్పి వినంగానే చదివింది వేరే ఉంటుంది కదా మ్యామ్.
అట్లా కాదు కదా. ఇప్పుడు మీకు ఒక క్లాస్ లో ఒక బ్లాక్ అంతా కంప్లీట్ చేసినాము. సో దిస్ మండే టు ఫ్రైడే మీరు ఓపెన్ చేసి గో త్రూ అండ్ సర్కిల్ దట్ డౌట్స్. రైట్, ఒక బుక్ పెట్టుకొని డౌట్స్ అన్ని ఒక దగ్గర రాసుకొని మళ్ళీ నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్కి వచ్చినప్పుడు అడగండి. ఎందుకంటే రెగ్యులర్గా వచ్చే వాళ్ళు కూడా మేము చూస్తాం కదా.
ఎస్ మ్యామ్, బట్ ఇప్పుడు అవును మీరు అనేది, బట్ ఇప్పుడు చూడండి క్లాస్ లో
వింటున్నాం మ్యామ్. ఇన్కార్పొరేషన్ ఆఫ్ కంపెనీస్ ఇంటర్ నుంచి ఉంది ఇది చాప్టర్. అసోసియేషన్ ఆర్టికల్స్
కాకపోతే
రాసి బోర్ మ్యామ్.
ఎంతమంది గుర్తుంది?
లిజన్ దట్ ఈస్ ట్రూ. ఎగ్జామినేషన్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ లో ఆ ఎగ్జామ్ ముందే చదువుతారు. సెకండ్ పాయింట్ వచ్చేసరికి ఏంటి అంటే, ఇక్కడ మీరు కంపెనీలా రాసేటప్పుడు మీకు ఎక్కడెక్కడ టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ లో మెటీరియల్లో కేసు గురించి ఇస్తారో, లేదా ఇక్కడ మీరు సెక్షన్స్ ఇచ్చాను చూసారా. నేను బిజినెస్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ చెప్పాను మీకే. అప్పుడు కూడా మనకు ఉంది ఇన్కార్పొరేషన్. కానీ అక్కడ నేను సెక్షన్స్ మెన్షన్ చేయలేదు. బికాస్ ఫర్ దాట్ సబ్జెక్ట్ వీ డోంట్ నీడ్ ద సెక్షన్స్. బట్ ఫర్ దిస్ సబ్జెక్ట్ కంపెనీ లా అన్నారు కాబట్టి యూ నీడ్ టు మెన్షన్ ద సెక్షన్, యాక్టివ్ సెక్షన్, అలాగే కేసెస్, నేమ్స్ ఆఫ్ ద కేసెస్ మీకు మెటీరియల్లో ఇస్తారు. నేను స్టార్టింగ్ స్లైడ్స్ చూపించలేదు కదా ఫస్ట్ క్లాస్దే, దాంట్లో 2 కేసులు ఉన్నాయి. ఓకే, కేసెస్ని అవసరమైన చోట కొన్ని సెక్షన్స్ని, కొన్ని టాపిక్స్కి ఈ సెక్షన్ నేను ఈజీగా నా డేట్ ఆఫ్ బర్త్తో రిలేట్ చేసుకోగలను, లేదా ఫ్యామిలీ మెంబర్స్తో గలను. ఇలా ఏదో ఒక కొంచెం టెక్నిక్ వాడుకొని కొన్ని టాపిక్స్ కైనా మీరు సెక్షన్స్ మెన్షన్ చేస్తూ, కొన్ని టాపిక్స్ కైనా కేసు స్టడీ అంటే కొన్ని కేసెస్ ఉంటాయి అనమాట. కంపెనీస్ యాక్ట్ లో జరిగిన కేస్ స్టడీస్, ఆ కేస్ స్టడీ పేరైనా రాయగలగాలన్నమాట. అది డిఫరెన్స్ అక్కడికి ఇక్కడికి. అలాగే ప్రాస్పెక్టస్ మీకు అక్కడ కూడా చెప్పాను బిజినెస్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ లో. కానీ రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాస్పెక్టస్ గురించి అంత స్ట్రెస్ చేయడం, ఇక్కడ చేశాను. ఇలా చిన్న చిన్న డిఫరెన్సెస్ ఉంటాయి. మెజారిటీ ఆఫ్ ద సబ్జెక్ట్స్ సేమ్. ఓకే, సో నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ మళ్ళీ మీకు బాగుంటుంది. ఎందుకంటే డైరెక్టర్స్ వాళ్ళ రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్, టు బి ఏ డైరెక్టర్ ఏంటి, కంపెనీస్ యాక్ట్ వాట్ ఇట్ షేర్స్, అవన్నీ కూడా ఉంటాయి. ఓకే,
మెయిన్ టాపిక్స్ చెప్పండి మ్యామ్ ఎగ్జామ్ లో వచ్చేటివి. ఎందుకంటే మనకి టైం లేదు మ్యామ్. ఇంకా ఓన్లీ
మీన్వైల్
3
ఏం
క్లాసెస్
చెప్పాలి?
ఉన్నాయి.
మీన్వైల్ ఏం చెప్పాలి?
ఎగ్జామ్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూ చెప్పండి మ్యామ్.
అదే కదా చెప్తున్నాను నేను. ఇప్పుడు స్టార్ట్ చేసినప్పటి నుంచి అదే అంటారు వస్తే కదా. ఎగ్జామినేషన్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూ ఇది ఇంపార్టెంట్, దీన్ని ఇలా రాయండి, దీన్ని ఇలా చదువుకోండి అనే కదా చెప్పాను నాన్న. అవునా కదా? ఎగ్జామినేషన్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూలోనే.
అంటే మ్యామ్ 3 క్లాసెస్ లో ఈ 4 బ్లాక్స్ కంప్లీట్ చేసేస్తారా మ్యామ్? 4 బ్లాక్స్ ఇంకా 4 ఉన్నాయి కదా మ్యామ్.
నేను ఇంకొక ఫస్ట్ క్లాస్ ఒకటి మీకు మిస్ అయింది, తర్వాత కూడా తీసుకుంటా అన్నాను కదా.
అవును మ్యామ్.
మొత్తం 6
మేడం
క్లాస్.
యాక్చువల్లీ ఏంటంటే అందరూ అన్ని క్లాసెస్ అటెండ్ అవ్వట్లేదు మేడం.